once again, welcome back to Plot. Right, okay. Let's make sure this is yep, it's going away. It's been that long since I've made a video. I'll make sure my phone's up and running. Okay, right. Welcome back to Plot, everybody. As you know, I'm back again. Where have I been the last few months? Well, taking the surgeon's advice and just taking it easy. If you remember last year, I got my gallbladder removed. And the surgeon says then, take it easy, Jeff. Have yourself a couple of months before you pull yourself back together. And of course, being me, straight back into the garden, lifting bags of manure, bags of compost, give myself a umbilical hernia. And so that was the start of my worries last year. I think it was July when I made my last video, and I had to just sit myself down. The doctors sent us up to the hospital for an examination. And he says, right, that's it, you're going to have to just take it easy, otherwise you're going to end up with more trouble in your stomach and wait for your operation. I got my operation in January this year. I'm all sorted now, no problem. Same surgeon that did me gallbladder, so he warned us again this time. He says, you've been warned, no heavy lifting, nothing, just take it easy, make sure your inside repairs properly. And of course, here I am, 2 months later, and so I'm ready to go. I've been watching yous, I've been watching all your comments, I've been watching what you've been up to the last few months, and been great. Well, as I say, to all the newbies, welcome back to the Plot. The people that's just joined, if you don't know where we are, well, we're at home, we're at my little 8x6 greenhouse. I do lots of work down here. I like to start a few videos off from down here before we get up to the Plot, and just let you know what we're doing and where we're going. Now, Storm Arwen absolutely tore the heart out of the Plot in December. Both were tunnels. One of the tunnels was covered with the mesh, if you remember. I had some damage from one of the storms last year. That's held together. God knows how, but it's got holes all over it, but it's still held together. And we've got early tatties in there, but I'll show you once we get at the Plot next week. We'll start the videos off properly. This is just a quickie to let you know that I'm back. I posted on my Facebook page the other night with a few comments that I was going to start again this week. And what a week it's been. It's unbelievable. I mean, last week we had temperatures, it was 70 and 80 degrees, and the first thing I used to do over morning, as soon as the sun cleared the roof and the sun was on the greenhouse, come down, open the door, because it was far too hot. You know me, I never like the temperatures too warm in the greenhouse. Here's one of my tomatoes. I planted these in, which I normally do the second week in March, my first tomatoes, and I've absolutely galloped away with that first week of heat. They were through within a couple of days, and that was with the door open and my automatic vent open. It was just crazy, the temperatures in here. But they've run away, and then of course this week it's been freezing cold all week, so there's a bit of a check on them, slowed them down a little bit. And which I'm quite happy, because I don't like planting these out any earlier till the end of April for the tomatoes. But they're my first ones. They're the trailing toms. I've got Moneymaker in here, and I've got 5 varieties that I'm doing this year. I've cut right back from last year. I think I had about 10 varieties. Loads of comments online that I've been watching, but you know, trying to get involved in the things that are bothering people. There was a guy on that he lost a load of his tomatoes last year, and he was blaming the compost. Fair enough, you get an old compost, it's going to have some damage to your plants, but the most important thing of all is the watering. Now, he could be getting mixed up with the watering and the compost. Tomatoes are a fickle. They're quite easy to grow, but once they get growing, it's keeping them growing. Too much moisture around the neck, and that's a no-no for a tomato plant. You know me, always water from down below. That's why you'll always see trays in the greenhouse. Everything I grow, if I can get away with it, I'll put them in trays and I'll water from down below. There's my watering trays there. There's my next tray of tomatoes. They'll just sit in there and I'll water from them down below. Everything. I use bread trays up the garden with plastic and newspaper on, and just acts like a sponge. All my bedding sits in there. It's quite an easy job to do. Tomatoes. Yeah, that's the second lot. These are my Shirley. These were only planted a week ago, and well, it's a fortnight now. I planted them when it was really warm, and they galloped away. Now, whenever in a hurry to start potting off, you know me, I just like to take my time, and especially with tomatoes, I never pot them off too early. A lot of people have been watching over the last few weeks. The seedlings have only just managed to get through the compost, and people are wanting to pot them off. I always wait until the first good set of true leaves is on before I even attempt to take it out of the compost. And there's proof there. There's the seedling leaves, and there's the first set of leaves just coming through there. Now, they can go for another, they're as healthy as anything, they can go for another week without even touching them. And of course, it gives you a great chance to get in between the seedlings and pick out the rubbish. Any bits of grass or that's grown in, because you always get some foreign bodies growing. But they're romped away, no problem whatsoever. And of course, when I do come to pot them off, they'll have a lovely little root ball on them. Really nice, good, strong root system, and then you're not doing them any damage. And of course, you'll just go into a plain old cup, small pot like that, or a square pot, and I'll probably start the video off down here next week, and I'll get cracking on them. The cucumbers, same. I only put them in 10 days ago, and already they're shooting away. And once again, cucumbers, the squash family, everyone, they hate getting water around the top. Always water from the bottom. They start getting too much moisture around the top, and they get what's called neck rot. Same as a tomato. They'll be okay one day, you go the next day, and they'll be keeled over. And of course, that's if you're using water, dirty water especially. The brother-in-law phoned me a fortnight ago, and that's why I put the video up. That's why I posted the news about the Campbell tea. The brother-in-law phoned me, and you're just getting a load of plug plants, and of course you put the plug plants in and reach for the spray to spray them, dampen them down, and realise that the water that was in the spray was from last year. Well, that's a no straight away. It's full of pathogens, it's full of molds, fungi, you name it. And that is one reason why I never use water out the watering bins, out the water pots in the garden for watering my seedlings. I always use fresh water. And what I've got down here, what I've started doing, I used to bring the watering can down every night. As soon as I'm finished of an evening, take the watering can upstairs and change the water, bring it back down, so I've got nice fresh clean water for the next day. But what I started doing, I started saving the milk jugs, the plastic milk containers, and they're fantastic. And I've got 4 of them all lined up there. So I've got 8 litres of water on tap every day, fresh water. So as I empty them, take them upstairs and I bring them back down in the morning. So it's fresh water every day. And that's for going into my sprays, or going into my trays for water and everything. You start watering with the water out your barrels, and the pathogens and the fungus that's in there is going to go straight on top of your compost. And within days you'll see a green slime, green mold appearing over your top of the compost. And it's never the best start for seedlings. Sometimes the seedlings will push through it. Sometimes they'll struggle through and they'll get on, but it's not the best. It's not the best start for them. So keep them nice and clean. Always use fresh water, and of course the same temperature as a greenhouse is. Otherwise, once again, you go putting cold water on top of them, freezing cold water, and that's what happens. You'll end up with stunted plants. You'll get them a check, and that's the last thing you want. But I'm hoping to get a lot of potting off done up here, some bits and pieces before the next couple of days. I had sent away for some fuchsias. I was starting to take cuttings up the allotment. I had some stock plants, but they weren't giving so many cuttings off, so what I sent away at Brookside Nurseries. I've used quite a few years, and I sent it for some nice cuttings, some nice plug plants. So they arrived yesterday morning, and I've just potted them up into small pots. Another thing, I sent away for some begonias because I didn't have any begonias this year. I lost most of my tubers that I had up the garden last year. I'm forgetting all about them. They were in a box and they just rotted off. So I've sent away for some new ones and quite pleased with them. Nice little plugs. But apart from that, everything else, my petunias, my lobelia, all that, I've got all that to start potting off. I've got trayfuls of petunias up there. You know how I like to say mine in a full-size seed tray. I make 3 drills and they're up like that now, so they're perfect for potting off. So we'll probably, when I start the video off next week, we'll probably get cracking and I'll show you how I get on with me potting. And of course, don't forget me composts. These are the onions I sowed in February. Beginning of February I sowed these, and these are the Bradleys. And they mightn't look much, but to me, they're just ticking away nice and slow. There'll be a lovely little, there's roots coming out the bottom there, so there'll be a lovely little root ball on them. I'll pot them up in the cups. They're not the biggest. I mean, some of the lads on the page, Nick Brake, hey, absolutely amazed at his onions. They're fantastic. But I'm hoping to grow some big onions next year. But for this year, I'm just easing myself back in. I've got a few leeks up there that I got given off one of the lads, and I'll pop them in the new trench that we built in the polytunnel. That's another thing I'll have to get round to doing, getting all that trench cleaned out. And it's a brand new trench. I think we had a few titties in it last year, but I'll get the leeks in this year. I'm going to put some onions in the bottom tunnel that I'm covering this week. I'm going to put the shoe onions in there, but they'll not go until May, so there's plenty of time. There's another 2 months yet, and you'd be surprised how quick them grow over 2 months once they're getting a nice fresh compost. I will show you that in next week's vid. As I say, I've been missing that long, and I've missed that much work in the first few months. But I'll try and catch up with what we like to do, how we like to sort, and our methods. As I say, we're chemical free, we're organic. We like to grow everything organic, and of course, when it comes to our composts, there's no change in that. I like to use my 3-2-1 compost. A lot of you know what I use. I use my own compost straight out of the bins, and usually it's 18-month-old. It's sieved through, let it dry out a little bit, sieve it through, and it's 3 parts homemade compost, 2 parts multi-purpose compost, and 1 part good sharp builder sand, and a couple of handfuls of bone meal. And I've used that mix for 20 years now, and it's never let us down yet. I've always, once them plants get into that mix, they just romp away, and you can just see the vigor in the plants, and everything just grows. I even use it for seedling mixes, like the dahlias, my dahlia seed, the bedding dahlias, marigolds, sunflowers, any big seed like that. When you're not expecting, because you will get weeds growing through it, so it's easy enough. Because they're big seeds, and you tend to recognise your weeds from your seeds, and once you get to a certain size, you'll know to pick the weeds out in amongst the different the flowering seeds itself. But for the likes of lobelia, petunias, I just make a ordinary multi-purpose compost, and I add sharp sand to that too, because I like it nice and free draining. As I say, what I've just said is I like to water everything. These are some of my smaller trays that I use. Sometimes when you get a packet of seed and you only get 30 seed in, it's a waste of time using a full size seed tray just for 30 seed. So I've got little trays like that. I can get 30 seed in, but they're fantastic for putting inside of an ordinary tray. I can get 4 of them in a tray and water it from down below, and nice and watered, and it keeps them nice and clean. And of course, a spraying over the top of camomile once I sow the seed, and once I break cover, a spraying again of camomile, and it keeps them nice and fresh. But as I say, we'll get on with our compost next week, because I've got loads of potting off to do. I've started potting some of my tomatoes up. I've started potting some of the cucumbers up. This is a thing, I've never grown these before, and as I say, I like to try something different every year. Don't know why, it's just one of them things, you know what I mean? It's I like to have a look at them. And these are the Cape gooseberry. I don't know what it tastes like, but I'm willing to give them a try. And that's them there. And of course, when you read the packet says just treat them exactly like tomatoes. So that's what I've done. I sowed the packet, and I've gotten 2, 4, 6. I've gotten 10 really good, strong little plants. So I'm hoping, see how they grow, and I'll put some in pots, and I'll put some in the greenhouse itself in the border. So we'll see what difference there is in them. But apart from that, it's business as usual down there. I've got loads of seed here. I should be taking some of this up the garden. I've got cabbage, calabrese. I've got my tomato, my alicante. Now they're for outside sowing. If you want to grow tomatoes outside, that's the best. One of the best ones to grow. But my all-time favourite is the Ailsa Craig, and you kind of feel with them outside if you use a south-facing wall or a south-westerly. I grew them outside last year quite successfully, and Ailsa Craig will grow great. But I never sow them until April, around about the middle of April, and you'll have nice strong plants ready to go at the end of May, when it should be, up here in the northeast, we should be frost-free. But we'll wait and see, because the weather's so unpredictable up here in the northeast. That's why I love it. But we'll get them sown back end. I'll show you how we like to sow ours. Like I say, we'll be using the chamomile spray on them, on the compost. We'll make ourselves some compost for potting off next week, and of course we'll give you a little tour around the plot. And the melon house is still okay, but I'll not be sowing my melons until maybe it's the middle of April. That's when I normally sow them, middle to the end of April. I like to sow a lot of squashes then, and the weather's really starting to warm up. So the warmer it is, the better for them, really, because the sooner they get into the compost and the sooner they break through, the less chance of them rotting off in a damp compost. So don't overwater them, like they say, cucumbers and that. Just don't have it too wet to compost, and don't have it too cold, otherwise you'll lose them. And they're expensive seed to have now. What I've got over the back there, I put a full tray full in, and there's only 6 come through, and that's the crystal lemon. Now I've grew them every year for years, and for some reason this year they've been really poor. The Socrates cucumbers and the telepathy have just run through, but for some reason the crystal lemon, they've stunted. They are growing through, but I know the compost is a little bit dry there, but there's 1 or 2 of them as a break cover. They're just rotting off. And it's not the compost, because it's nice clean compost. I'm just wondering about the seed. But as a rule, I get good results from them. But I'm going to maybe put a bit water on them tonight, put a cover over them, and then I might try and pot them off into a different compost tomorrow and just see if that makes any difference. But as a rule, I don't have any problems with the crystal lemon. Usually they just gallop through. They're the nice round cucumbers, nice lemon. You can put them outside, trailing up wire or anything, and they'll grow great. I like to shove a couple at the back of the polytunnel or just on the ground and let them grow in between tomatoes, and you get just as a nice crop of cucumbers is anyway. But yeah, that's it. As I say, I've got bits and pieces to do down here. I'm going to maybe spend another half hour just potting a few onions up before I go up and call it a day. But I'll get this video up on 9 in the night. I know you two will be glad to see us back, I hope. And hopefully by next week we'll get started on some gardening again. We'll get back on the plot. But thanks for all the comments. They're always welcome. You can see if you're not too sure about anything and you want to ask a question, just catch on our Facebook page. It's Jeff Foreman on the plot. Get one there and we'll answer. I'm on there most nights. It's just that the last few months I've been a bit down and after the operations, and I just thought, well, I kind of get nothing done in the plot. I couldn't get any heavy lifting, heavy work done, so I just called a halt to it, and maybe I should have just kept on commenting and blah blah blah. But without doing any actual work, it gets a bit difficult. But anyway, we're over that, and we're looking forward to a whole new year. So I'll get up and I'll get this online tonight. And to say thanks again for all the following, and welcome to all the new ones. I know you've been the ones that's come on the plot, and you've been wondering where I've been. Well, I'm back, okay, like a Terminator, but not doing as much damage. Okay, so I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.